All right, guys. All right. Welcome to Frank Teaches MLOps. Yes, guys. Yes, my lovely viewers. Today we will be looking at Pandas data frame part one. Data frame is a very huge topic, guys, and to make sure that I cover um I cover a lot, all right, in data frame. I have decided to split data frame into about three parts: part one, part two, and part three. For today, you'll be getting part one of data frame. All right, you'll be getting what? Part one of data frame. And data frame is the building block before we go into defining what a data frame is. So data frame is the building block into data pre-processing. Pre-processing, right? Data pre-processing, you can call it data pre-processing. Um, you can call it data data um data cleaning, right? You can call it data cleansing. It's cleaning or cleansing, all right? Cleansing is kind of if you're under a spell, right? Let me not use the word cleansing. Data cleaning, all right? And there are different words given to it. Okay, we have a um um you can name it, right? But the idea is making your data ready for what? For modeling, for training, right? For training. And the Python library, the Pandas Python library, responsible for making your data ready for modeling, all right, is what? The Pandas, right? So is data frame. So data frame, right? All right, it helps by cleaning your data sets, right, to make it what? Ready for what? For modeling, right? For what? Modeling, right? For modeling. Okay, now what is a Pandas data frame? So I'm just coming from bottom to top. All right, so Pandas data frame, what exactly is a Pandas data frame? Let's look at it. So a PD, all right, is a data structure. By the way, guys, if you've not watched my video on Pandas series, guys, rush Pandas series, because Pandas series is the build up. So I have a video, Pandas series in 60 minutes. All right, the build up to what? Pandas data frame. Okay, yeah, Pandas what? Data is a build up to Pandas data frame, right? So a PD is a what? It's a two-dimensional. It's a two-dimensional, two-dimensional tabular what? Tabular data structure. Now, there are two types of data structures in Pandas. We have the data frame and we have the series. So all of that was actually treated in my first videos on Pandas series. So to have a glimpse, all right, to have a glimpse, please go and watch my video on Pandas series, right? Pandas series. Let's go back. So it's a two-dimensional tabular data structure, right, in Python, which is similar, right? in Python, sorry, which is similar to Excel spreadsheet, or or an SQL was table. Full stop. Let's check what an Excel spreadsheet looks like. So I'll come over to Google. Excel spreadsheets. So if I go to images, so these are examples of Excel spreadsheets, right? Excel spreadsheets. So Pandas DataFrame is similar to something like this, all right? Very few moments from now, you see how we create a data frame from nothing to something, right? And you see how it is very similar to Excel what spreadsheet. Also, it is similar to what SQL table, right? So same thing, guys, same thing. Very similar to what SQL what table, okay? So we want to create something similar like this, something similar like this, okay? Something similar, right? Let's get started. Great, let's continue. Also, we want to say that Pandas DataFrame is one of the most commonly used components of Pandas library. So PD is one of the most commonly used core components of Pandas library, which is widely used, right, for data analysis and manipulation. So very few time from now, you see how we'll use Pandas data frame to manipulate data. All right, great. I think that's it. That's all, guys. That's all, right? It's a data structure, right? It helps to clean data. It is used for cleaning data sets. It's data pre-processing, data cleaning. That is the major function of what data frame. All right, Pandas what data frame, and we're going to be seeing all of this in the next slide. So let's now look at things we are going to cover in this part one, right? All right. Topics to be what covered in part one. So the first topic is how to create a what a Panda data what frame. Right now, after creating the data frame, now we need to start manipulating the data frame. Right now, manipulating data frame columns. Right, manipulating the columns. All right, now creating new column, or I'll say adding new columns. Okay, new columns. Okay, adding new rows. Okay, adding new rows. Also manipulating rows, all right, data frame rows. Okay, so things we'll be doing. And when we are done, we need to drop the columns, drop rows. Don't need it anymore. And selecting columns, right, based on indexing, right? Okay, indexing locations, right? Location, and selecting rows as well. Selecting rows based on indexing location, and then finally selecting subsets of data frame. So these are things we will be covering. All right, these are things we will be covering in this session. Without further ado, guys, let's head on to our Jupyter Notebook. So let me copy this, guys, as well. Copy, go to Jupyter Notebook. So here's my Jupyter Notebook. Here we have it. So these are things we will be covering. So let me do that as a markup. Let me do it as a markup. Let me do it as a markup. All right. So let's create this as a markup, and let's execute. There we go. There we go. So how to create a Pandas data frame. So before that, I'm going to import my what? My library. Import pandas. Import pandas as what? As PD. I explained all of this in my first video of series. All right. So this is an alias. Alias of what? Pandas. Alias to pandas. Now also import what? Numpy. Because we're using Numpy. Numpy as what? Numpy as MP. Right now, because I'll be randomly generating numbers, right? So I don't want to come here and I don't want to come here and say numpy dot random dot rand number, right? So I want to, in this numpy function random, there's a method called rand n. So I want to use just only rand n. So I can say from numpy dot random import what? Import rand, right? Rand n. So I execute that cell. So we are good. We are good. Now I want to create a data frame. So I'll say df is equal to pd. So use a keyword data frame in this way. Now data frame accepts the data, the index, and the columns. So while creating data frame, it accepts data, index, and what? Columns. The same way that we did on what? Series, right? Like I said, if you've not watched that my video on series, kindly go and watch the video on series. So this is my syntax. So let me comment it. So let me comment it. That's a comment. Okay. Now let's do that. df equals to pd dot data frame. So my data here is going to be numpy. So I want to be randomly generate numbers. So mp, okay, dot rand n. So I want to generate. I can just go directly. Let me just say directly because I've imported it, right? So I'll say rand. I want to generate 5 rows and 4 columns. Randomly generated numbers, 5 rows, 4 columns, right? And my index, I need to create a list of index. So my index will be maybe A, B. My index must correspond to the number of rows, guys, to the number of rows. And C, and D, and E, right? So these are my index. Then the columns, right? So I need to create some column, right? So list as well. So column will be 4 columns. So let me use U, V, W, X, right? 4 columns. Let's close that and let's run this. So I'm having error. My error is coming from this guy. So I can say mp is a numpy mp dot dat, right? Rand, sorry. Why is it not rand end? Rand. Numpy has no attributes. Rand. Why am I? It's there now. Rand n is there. All right, so let's do it direct. mp dot random dot rand n column. All right, so it should be columns s. So why you should have wait, np. as an attribute. np.random. But shouldn't have given me that. All right, that's okay. That's okay, guys. All right. So but why is it complaining? Random, random. I got this. np. All right. So this is my data. This is my data as it is here. So it's going to be a 5x4 matrix, right? And these are the what? The index, and these are the columns. So if I display the content of my data frame, I have it like this. All right. So this is the what? The index A, B, C, D, and E. And these are the columns U, V, W, X. All right. U, V, W, X. Okay. U, V, W, X. So good, guys. Right. So this is our data frame. Now we've created the data frame, which was on how to create a data frame. Now let's start manipulating the columns. Right. So in column manipulation, okay, there are things we can perform on column manipulation, right? We can add column, right? We can remove column. We can do the way we want to do it. All right. We can split. Now, first thing first, let me split this data frame maybe into two different parts, right? I want to split out U and V as a one data frame and W and X as another data frame. But before that, let's look at selecting columns. So to select a column, so I'll say DF, that's the data frame itself. And maybe I want to select U. So I have this, all right? So as you can see, this is a series. So in contrast, we could say that data frame is a what? Is a collection of series that share the same index. Now, collection of series, U is one series, V is one series, W is another series, X is another series. So bringing this series together, they form what we call what? A data frame. Is that clear, guys? Right? It forms what we call what? A data frame. Right? Now, if I check the type of this guy, I can say that's the data type. I can say type of these, we should have what? As a series. Right? As a series. Okay, great, guys. But if I check just the type of just the DF, it tells me that, sorry, typo. Type tells me that is a what? It's a data frame, right? Without the columns, it's just a data frame. All right, great, guys. Great, right? Great. So let's now select these guys. So I can come here and come over here. That's that. So if I want to select more than, I want to select multiple what? Multiple columns, right? I can say this and I have this. So I've selected what? U and V. So I can assign U and V to a new variable. So I can say df underscore uv. So df underscore uv is this, and what is it? df underscore uv. We have a new data frame. Can see, guys. So I can do similar thing with df underscore wx is equal to df of, all right, w, comma, and x, and there we go. And df underscore wx, we have a new word data frame. So and you're seeing the way we are splitting the data frames, right? Great, guys, great. Now that was manipulating what? The columns. Now let's bring back our main data frame, right? Great. Now I need to add a new column. So what we have, UVWXY. Let me add Y. I can say X underscore new. That's a DF. So the new column I want to add will be as a variable. All right. So X underscore new. I'm adding X underscore new as a new column is equal to, so from which column, right? Because I need to populate that column as well, right? I need to populate the column. So I need to give it some random values. So I can say S underscore new could be df, all right, x column multiply by 2, right? This should be the new column. So multiply every of this item by 2, the x column by 2. So if I now say df, our df now becomes what? S underscore new. 2 times this, we got this. 2 times this, we got this. 2 times that, we got this. Times this, we got this. 2 times this, we got this. If you want to check it out, you can say df dot look okay, df dot I'll explain, guys. I want to multiply this very item by 2. Let's say df of e, okay, comma column x. Let me see if this will fly. All right, so index error, key error, so it's not flying. Let me do something. Dot loc. Wait, I'll come back to that place, guys. Okay, we got it now. df.loc, location of this row and this column. All right, I will explain when we get to indexing properly. I will explain when we get to indexing. So I'm targeting this item. You can see now I could target that item, which is 0.578466. It was abbreviated 66. All right, times 2. What's the value? Times 2. The value is 1.1569. You can see we got that value. All right, so great, guys. So we now have back to data frame. We now have a new data frame, x new. So let me add more. So I will say df of w, right? W underscore new. So w underscore new. So this will give us df of w. All right, you can say plus 2. All right, so our new data frame becomes df becomes that. Right, great, guys. So if you're seeing how we are adding more columns, right? Now let's look at how to what manipulate rows. Now we've added more columns. Let's add more rows, right? To add more rows, this is what we'll do. So we'll say df dot loc. All right, loc of the row name. So if I need to print out the entire row E, so that is what I get. Now this printing out the entire row, selecting this row E. All right, selecting row E, I'll use the what's it called? It's called index based labels. All right, so I talked about loc. Loc is location, right? It's a function, it's a method that comes with a data frame. All right, you can check for all methods. Dot tab. So dot tab tells you methods you can pass to your data frame. You can pass loc. You can see there's loc, and there's also what iloc. So iloc is indexing based on integer, right? Integer. We shall come to this properly. All right, however, like I said, you need to watch my video on pandas series, right? Because in there I really dealt with IOC and what and LOC, ILOC and LOC, Panda series in 60 minutes. Let's continue. So I want to select just that row and say E of that, and we have it. So what if I want to print it that let it make sense in a kind of a data frame way? All right, you can see now I'll add another square bracket. So this displays this. So I've just selected just only what? Only the E. All right. So what if I need to select E and maybe A? E and A. I'll have a column, comma here, and A. And I have that. So this is E and A, right? A is that, right? E comes first before A. So I can change the positioning and we should have it making sense, right? So you can see I'm selecting everything, both the columns and then the rows. So this is how you manipulate rows. Now let's look at how to add a row, right? So we'll be adding a row. So to add a row, we still need to make use of what? The indexing. Because without the indexing, we cannot target the row. Now, if I remove this LOC, right? Now this now is targeting the column, and we are going to have error because there is no key, there's no column called what? Called E. So this, like as it is used to target the columns. So take note, guys, that's the difference. So that's why if I put a U here, it will be selecting what? The column for me. And you can see it. So since there is no column called E, we have an error, right? Because E is a row. To target the row, then I have to use the concept of what? Location. Label-based indexing. Label-based LOC is used for what? Label-based indexing. So with this, I'll be targeting what? My row. Take note, guys. Please take note. You can see I'm targeting what? The row. All right. So now since we are on the row, I want to add a row. So what do I do? So this is what I will do. So I'll say I want to add a new row, EF. Call it F. So F is what? F, I need to populate the row for F. So I'll say F will be df.loc of A plus df.loc of, let's say, B. And that is it. We have what? F. Df, we have a new data frame called what? F. So F is a combination of A plus B. We got what? F. I can still go further to add G, right? So I can come here and say G. G is that, and G should be A plus 2, and we have that. A plus 2, we have this. You can see. So this is how we manipulate, all right, rows and columns, right? We saw how we created a new row. First, we saw the process of splitting the columns. We can also split the rows. Let's split the rows, all right away. Okay, so I could say df.loc. So I want to split A, B, and C. All right. So run this. Oh wow, too many indexes. Okay. So let's cover it like this. Let's cover it like this. All right. So we have to cover it. All right, guys. All right. We have to use an extra extra closing and brackets to convert it into a what? A data frame. Okay. You can see we've splitted from the main data frame. We've splitted this. We've selected a set of what? A set of rows. Right? What is left? We are left with, I can select D and E. Can come here, df.loc, loc of D and what? And E. And there we are. All right. There we are. Okay. So this method is going to lead us to what we call subset of a data frame. We are coming, guys. We are coming. You see? All right. So now we've seen how to split columns and split rows. Let's now see how we can drop columns. If we don't want any column, we can drop it. If we don't want any rows, we can drop the rows. So I have what? I have X. I need to drop maybe column X and X underscore new. So what do I do? Let's bring our data frame. So these are data frame. I need to drop X and what? X new. So I'll say what? df dot what? Drop. Drop what? Drop column X first. Let me drop that first. Now, if I pass this as this, I'll have an error. Because Pandas is confused of which column, of which axis you're going to drop. So axis is defined. We have two axes. We have 0 and 1. All right. We have what? 0 and 1. So axis 0 is attributed to row, while axis 1 is attributed to what? To column. All right. Now let's go there now. So since I'm dealing with what? With column, I'll say comma. Axis is equal to what? 1. Mind you, axis 0 is your row, while axis equal to 1 is your column, right? If you're performing column operation, you use what? Axis 1. If you're performing row operation, you use what? Axis 0. Okay? Use what? Axis what? 0. So now, like I said, if you had not specify any axis, you're going to get what? An error, right? So let's clear this error. So what I will do, there's a trick to clearing this output. So what do? It's an output. This is an output. I want to clear. So what I will do is I'm going to comment out what I typed and execute the cell. So if I execute the cell, it's a comment. So comments will clear. It displays. It doesn't get executed. All right. So comment doesn't get executed. So that's a trick to clear your error. So I'm back. So if I come here, I got it back. Right. I can always come back here and comment it, run it, and that is cleared. Take note, guys. So these are a few tricks you use in what? In Pandas. In your Jupyter Notebook, right? So now I'm going to specify the path. Is it rows or column? Nice, column. So I'll say what? Axis where? Axis 1. I hit enter. So you can see from our original data frame, X column has been dropped. However, it is not permanent. It's just for cosmetics. What we just did here is just cosmetics. Because if I display my column again, my data frame, I'll still get back my what? My X. So the dropping of that column was not what? Permanent. To make that permanent, we'll come back here and say, comma, in place is equal to true. Because in place by default is false, meaning that the changes will not take place immediately. So I want the changes on the column to take place instantly. That's in the case of the column. If I run this, we got it. So if I run my df again, I'll see that I have permanently what? Deleted the column. So let's do the same thing for the x underscore new. So d.drop, drop what? I'm dropping x underscore new. Axis is 1. In place is true. All right, there we go. We have it. So you can see I've dropped what? X and what? X underscore new columns. Right? Similarly, I can drop F and G. Let's do that. So I can say df.loc. Right? LOC, I'm getting what? G. I have G. I want to drop G. So what do I do? Okay. So I can come here. I'll say df dot drop. Drop what? Drop this row G. Axis. Axis is what? Is 0. Sorry, axis is 0. Yeah. Axis is 0. So this is going to drop my what? My row. As you can see, row is gone. If I repeat now, it's done, it's gone permanently. Hello, it's not gone. So you always have to what? Specify a what? In place. Because by default, in place is set to false. Look at now. By default, in place is set to false. That's a value. Right? So this is a good feature such that when you are performing, you're preparing, you're cleaning data and you mistakenly drop a column, all right? It will not, it will not get deleted permanently. It will still be there because you've not used, because by default, permanent deletion is set to what? False. To set permanent deletion, then you need to set your in place parameter to what? To true. So I'll come here and I'll say, comma, in place is equal to what? True. And G will be what? Will be gone. G is gone. So you can see. So this is how we perform this kind of manipulation. All right. We've seen how we dropped. So let me copy. This is our guy. Copy. So that's and all right. So let's execute this as a markdown. Yeah. Oh, sorry. I didn't list it, guys. So you have to as a list. If not, this will not work. It has to be as a list. All right. So execute that. Sorry. All right. So now a list. All right. Great, guys. Great. So we saw manipulating data column, manipulating rows, adding new columns, adding new rows. We drop columns, we drop rows. Now selecting columns based on indexing location, which you've done. All right. We started off by selecting columns, right? Which we did as df of what? Of you. We've selected what? That column. All right, great. Now selecting rows based on indexing location. Now selecting rows, which we also did, df.loc of e, see have e. We have that. If you want to beautify it as a data frame, you need to add double what? Double square brackets. All right, you can see. Now we can also select based on integer. So in place of label, I can say 0. So 0 means this is index 0, index 1, index 2, 3, 4, and 5. So index 0, I'm going to get what? A. So this value of A, index 0. So that's why I'm using what? I. I is what? Index. So if I want this and 3, I have this A and D. And let me add 4 in that mix. I have that. So you can do slicing as well. 0 to 4. We have it. It doesn't work. Why? Invalid syntax. So you just take that. That's okay. 0, comma 0, 0 and 4. All right. 0, comma 2, comma 3, comma. Why am I not getting that? All right. So based on index, the same way I could say df of their respective what labels. A is there, B is there, and E, we have it. You can see. So these are way you manipulate data, right? You manipulate data in what? Pandas DataFrame, right? Now, the last but not the least is what? Selecting subsets. I think we should already done it. So let me say I want to select UV, column UV and AB. So I'll say df.loc, right? So I need what? I need first is row and column. So I need A, column row, sorry, row A and row B as one list, comma, my column U and column what? V. So I have that. You can see the way it works. We selected a subset, right? We selected a subset. But before then, let's reprint our what? Our data frame. You can see I took what? A and B, just this section, to form a new data frame. Similarly, I can do W and W new. I could say df.loc of the rows first. Specify your rows. My rows is E, comma, F, comma, the column is what? W, comma, W underscore what? New. We have these two last values, this and that. Are you seeing the beauty of using what? Pandas what? Data frame. So at this juncture, we just did what? Selecting subsets of a what? Of a data frame. So that's it, guys. That's it. So like I said, this is just part one. Part one of Pandas data frame. So in our subsequent episode, we shall come up with what? Part 2 and part 3, where we will be dealing with things like pandas, concatenating data frames, merging data frames, all right? Merging using the concept of joining, inner join, outer join, all right? Okay, left join, right join, a whole lot of joins. That will come in part 2 and later on part 3. All right. So guys, be with us on this journey, guys. Be with us on this what? On this journey. So you can see how first, to wrap it up, you can see how first what we created what? A data frame. After creating the data frame, we splitted the columns, right? We splitted UOV, WX, right? And after that, we created a new column. We added a new column, right? And we added new columns. After that, we added new rows. These are new rows we added. And after that, we splitted our rows. And after that, we started what? Dropping the rows and columns because we don't want them anymore. All right? Rows and columns. And finally, we now start what? Sub-selecting, doing a subset of the major what? Data frame. Right? Selecting subsets of what? Of the data frame. So guys, I hope this session has been very, very informative, and I thank you for your time, and I want to see you guys in my next episode. Please guys, please do well to share this video, comment guys, and subscribe to our channel. Please subscribe, because we are dropping things that you can't see it anywhere, guys, right? You can't see it. Please guys, please, thank you, and see you in our next episode. Peace out. Peace.